What is going on, Lunatic Fringe? Every day I come to you and tell you what is going on in the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem and universe. If you like this type of content, hit the like button. But if you don't like me and you hate that every day I come out here and do that, hit the dislike button because it works too. Haha. So let's talk about what's going on in the ecosystem. Let's talk about what's happening. We got an article up from Daily Coin asking the question, are the burns going to help, or is it just a trick that we're using to trap people inside? And what do they think about momentum? So we're going to break that down. And by the way, when I say that, I can tell you that they used the Kaji candles to get. I'll show you in just a second. Hit that like button or that dislike button. Hit the button. All right, guys, if you aren't already, become a member of the channel. Certainly helps me out. Make sure you sign up at terracasino.io. I am not in a jurisdiction that allows it, but if you are, then you can go in here and you can play every single day. Also, Microsoft Edge, Opera, they have VPNs for your privacy, security, and protection in this crazy, crazy world. Nonetheless, if you are interested, sign up at terracasino.io today. By the way, I was informed today that we've had a lot of new signups at terracasino.io. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Put your username in my live streams and you might win $50. If you're trading meme coins, especially the Believe meme coin, you can trade it over here at terraport.finance. All your utility coins, all of your meme coins, everything is available for you at terraport.finance. Okay, so the article covers Binance burning 466 million Terra Luna Classic, and they call it Into Oblivion, revival play or gimmick. That nothing says AI like these kind of wild statements. Bounce back efforts are accelerated with a single-handed 466 million burn. So what's stopping Lunk from rising? By the way, it's not accelerated. In fact, it was 475 million the month before. So 466 is less, but let's not go there. The globe's leading crypto exchange by trade volume just destroyed a heavy batch of Terra Luna Classic carrying the monthly burn. And by the way, this is a really nice sort of visual. I'm assuming they threw in the total Lunk supply visual, and then they had a candle and some fire in the background showing the burn. But Don says Binance just torched nearly $500 million. Use hot button words like torched. That's supposed to make people get excited, right? Supply is shrinking, momentum is building. Do you feel it? Because I don't feel it yet, but I like the fact that these guys are putting in the work right now to make it seem like something crazy is going on. Now, here we have, while cryptocurrency whales have laid off the sell-offs this week, most large investors are still reluctant to add to their current Lunk positions. As a result, the shaken money flow meter dwells in neutral territory, while the lack of buying power is clearly mirrored in the charts. As we can learn from the chart above, Terra Luna Classic price movement. These are the Kaji candles, by the way, if you're wondering what they are. They're kind of momentum swings to give you an idea. When one of them crosses into green, that's an entry position. When it crosses into red, that's your exit position. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose on it, but it's another metric that you can use. As we learn above, price movement is yet to pick up strength as the middle tier Bollinger Band, depicted in blue, this mid-tier bull envelope. And we're going to use Bollinger Bands. I'm going to show it to you in just a few minutes. So far, the only positive on-chain metric is the parabolic stop and reverse, the SAR signal, portrayed in the blue dots hovering slightly above the current Terra Luna Classic price line. So it says, or it feels like we've got a momentum wave, but it hasn't really broken out yet. So we'll get to that in just a moment. But the article states that, that maybe something will happen, maybe something won't. Duh. Anyway, AI at work. Nothing to report on Commonwealth, no changes or anything like that. Your meme coins, your utility coins right now, MBA 113%, having a little bit of a breakout. But let's remember here, it's a fairly tight market cap. It's 168,000. So, it had a really good run. I expect some pullback at some point. Be very, very careful entering a position. Don't enter a position at 113% pump right now. I would certainly look for some kind of pullback to, whatever Fibonacci wave tells you. I would go look at the charts, figure it out if you're going to take a position on that right now. But over the 7 days, we're starting to see a little bit of green. Not a lot, but a little bit of green. So we'll see what happens from there. Again, I'm going to go back and I'm going to say it one more time. Bitcoin has to eat first, then the large caps are going to have to eat, and then we will eat. It will come. It's going to happen. But again, we need that momentum. Validators, Don't see any big change in the validators. Orion had some unstaking. Jesus is Lord had a little bit of unstaking over the last couple days, entering the billions. In fact, AutoStake, if you notice right there, you'll see that 1.25 billion came out there, and then 1.29 went in to all nodes. That could be a momentum indicator saying that all nodes is going to be number one very, very soon. Also, if we're honest, it could be that Orion lost some, and that's where it went to. Some of it went to Jesus is Lord, same thing. So some money is being moved around to give validators more and more power. Greenpeace is also up to number 15 overall. Was it number 16 yesterday? But other than that, not a whole lot of changes. All right, so here's the chart. What does the chart tell us? Well, let's kind of zoom out a little bit. We're going to crush this up just a tiny bit. I've changed the way my Bollinger Bands work just a little bit so that it's easier to see because I use blue. I tend to throw some blue into this sort of screen here. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, give you guys a full look at what's going on right now. And then I'm going to use the famous Bollinger Bands. Now I've changed them to green and yellow so that you have a better idea of what's going on. And what I want to point out here is if you notice right now, we are getting very, very tight on this band. We're getting very, very tight. Now, when that happens, that usually predicts a large move happening. The last time we tightened up was right in this little range right here. And boom, we had a nice little breakout. Now, wasn't a sustained breakout, but it was a breakout. When we got a nice little tightening right there, that's when we got the massive move to the upside previously. When we had this little tightening right here, it ended up being a big time dump. Now, I don't think that we're in a position for a dump, to be fair, because the market conditions seem to be pretty positive. We're at 3.8 trillion market cap. There's no bearishness in 3.8 trillion market cap. Also, look at this one. We had this really nice consolidation right here, and then boom, that's where that explosive move happened. So Bollinger Bands are starting to tighten, signifying that a big move potentially is imminent. Okay. Now, what we're looking for is we're looking for a break above that midline, which is basically 21 MA. So we're looking for a move above that, and it's really kind of fighting. If we zoom in and get a little more granular, then what we see is this, we're having trouble getting above this little heart line right now. That's not a great sign. As a matter of fact, we're gonna make that middle heart line yellow as well. A little bit easier to see at this point. But we gotta break above that. And if we break above that, then the Bollinger Bands tell me that we are potentially in breakout mode. Now, here's the thing. The last time we saw that real consolidation, we got to look back and figure out how long did it take. So we tightened up right here and didn't break out until here. 34 bars. Where are we at right now? Is where we tightened up right now. We're at 23 bars. So this actually checks out with one of my theses that we're not exactly ready for that breakout move yet, but it's coming very, very soon. So I would venture to say that, and by the way, just because it took 34 days last time doesn't mean that it's going to break out again. This over here, if you notice here, we had this real tightening right here, which again lasted 23 days. And then we got a tiny break to the upside, but then it consolidated immediately and tightened up one more time before we actually broke out. So I just want to say that we don't know how many in number of days it could be, but if we go from the tightening right here to where it actually broke, 66 bars, 66 days. If we say this was the actual move and we kind of reduce that just a little bit, then you're still talking about 48 bars. So we're entering a spot where I could see the market starting to react very quickly, and that we could see a parabolic run coming very, very quickly and rapidly from out of nowhere. Now, problem with that is I don't see the momentum, but here's the funny thing. I've never seen the momentum. I've never seen the momentum in Terra Luna Classic just cause this absolute breakout. Okay, it hasn't been. There've been things. There've been the idea that we're going to do some kind of burn. The idea that we've got some kind of initiative that's going to. There's been things. The news has made worthy, but right now people are holding on to their money. The money's being made in meme coins and Bitcoin right now. It's crazy, but. And by the way, it's not because the meme coin does anything. It's because people are gambling. This is just, we've just become a gambling state. So that's what's going on. And that's why money is not flowing into assets that could produce yield, revenue, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, again, you stake, you get a couple percentage points. And that's the easy part. That's the easy part. Just win more lunk in the lottery. You know what I mean? So You validate with people, you earn more, you get rewarded. Nice. You know what I mean? So we're not seeing that move yet, though. So we'll be watching for it. One more thing, when we're predicting this market, we're looking at money flow. Remember, the money flow does not correlate right now to what's happening in the market. We're not seeing a pump here. But when we get to this little area up here, I would suspect that we're about to see a crazy run because the money is still flowing into risk asset. The money is still flowing. Money printers are on across the world. When that happens, risk assets go up. And all we need is a simple catalyst. I do think it's going to be the market maker or the market module. So maybe it's going to happen really soon. But that's entirely speculative. So let's move on. Volume down 21% under 10 million. Volume down to 3 million over here. Again, we're not seeing the volume. Now, want to go back to Leonardo and Ceramic. We want to talk about them real quick because there's a lot that seems to be going on with Clay. And you can check out what is going on right now. Well, Bridge first, CMM second. Originally, before Portal stopped working, Lunk, it was the other way around. So they're working on all of this stuff here. Now, all USTC repeg efforts, look who is first. Everyone please investigate and bookmark the blogger. And by the way, you can come over here and you can check out, these are the potential repeg ideas that are coming. Okay, so you got a kind of a breakdown here. If you're interested in looking it up, you can see exactly what's going on or what appears to be going. But Ceramic, Leonardo seem to be working towards this to their own without the support of everybody else. They seem to be just, we're just going to do it ourselves. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting to see it play off. But now the question is, what will end up happening? I don't know the answer to that. I know that if it does happen, it's going to be on BSC. So I'm certainly intrigued and interested in how this plays out. We're going to be keeping an eye on it. We're going to cover this a little bit more. We're going to get a little deeper into it over the next couple of days because I think now is the time to really kind of focus in on, how close are we to something right there? Also, market module, how close are we to something right there? So, and by the way, don't forget, I should be in about 4 days. We should have a live on Sunday where we talk about on Twitter what is going on with some of these initiatives and projects. So we're going to be looking at USTD. And then on the 12th, there's going to be another one that we're going to do, which, again, we're going to be talking about some important things with Terra Luna Classic. So make sure once you get notified that something's happening, that you set your calendar, that you set your alarms, your notices, so that you can participate and you can check out and see what's going on as well. And finally, let's talk about the burns. Today, 35 million. Yesterday, 30 million. And then, of course, 482 million when Binance did their big burn, leading to 762 million. Again, very low, but it's something. I guess that's the best way that we can look at it is to say that, it's something. It's not nothing. So, we'll just kind of accept that and, be excited by it, I guess. I don't know. I'm not happy with the amount of burns. I think that, the market module probably will take the place of the actual burns that we're doing right now. But it should be noted. The only way that we're going to burn at this point, I think that we've used burning as a trick, a gimmick, if you will, which I think that article addressed and made me realize, really it is. It's kind of a trick that we're doing to get people enticed to come back to the chain, but we're charging them a tax in order to get here, and that's prohibitive to people. So we have to consider a better way if we want to grow this chain, okay? The burn is going to have to be done by ambitious people looking to build. It is my belief, and I've not had anybody shoot me down in any way, but I haven't seen a developer that I've talked to who's had interest in what I'm talking about. But what I think should happen is, I think that if you have 1 million tokens and you sell 1 million tokens for, I think the number today would be $58. If you sell 1 million tokens for $58, then a percentage of that goes into, after you sell, by the way, you get your $58, basically. You sell 1 million tokens at 4 zeros 58, that's $58. You get your $58, and then after that, before it goes back into the liquidity pool, that a piece should come out and go into each one of our caches. So Something should be there for staking and rewards. Something should be there for paying people. And then we should be looking at another percentage that should be used to, for example, if that happens and you do that, then maybe 2% of that transaction goes to buying back USTC and burning it. 2% of the transaction just gets burnt. To me, that seems like a lure to bring people back to the chain and get people trading on it, because the burn or something like that is happening post-transaction, and then those tokens or coins are then being used for a purpose. I don't see a problem with this. I don't know what the problem would be or why there doesn't seem to be a thirst to do it this way. They're trying to make you pay. And I mean, when I say they, there's not actually a person. It's just a process. I'm not sure why this is a thing. I don't understand that portion. What I think that would do was attract people to come in and start trading on the chain, or at least taking on some gambling risk, if you will, and doing some trading and flipping of USTC and LUNC back and forth. In my mind, and I could be wrong. There could be something out there that I'm not thinking of that would prevent it, but I don't know what that is. So I'm going to encourage you guys. Let's figure it out. What happens if we do that? And by the way, we did set this up a few months ago, so that transactions could be post-transaction. So, again, right now you sell $1 million and that's $58, but 1.5% of your $58, or, let's call it 58, 60, 70, 80 cents gets taken out. So you get $57.20 instead of $58. That's what's happening right now. And the burn, the 1.5% burn, that comes right off of your transaction. What I'm saying is you should be made whole. And then once you're made whole, then there should be a burn post-transaction that should then fill the Oracle pool, that should fill up, and that should be used for burning both USTC and LUNC. But again, I think the market module might be required for that. That might be why we're not talking about it right now. But once we get the market module up, maybe that's the path forward. I don't know for sure. I'm just guessing and speculating, but you let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you like this content, make sure you hit that like button. If you dislike the content, make sure you hit that dislike button, because it hurts me and it makes me mad. And then I won't make videos anymore if you hit that dislike button a whole lot. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right.